Hey, foodie friends, and welcome to Chef's Recipe Spotlight with Jessica Ann, where we like to talk about food. And today we are going to share a culinary creation of the day. It is a tasty treat and a regional dish called Skyline Chili. You might hear it called Cincinnati chili, and that is because it hails from Cincinnati, Ohio, from a restaurant called Skyline Chili. It is a Midwestern favorite. It is basically an old school chili over top of a plate of pasta. So sometimes people call it chili mac too around the country. Has piles of cheddar cheese on it, often some raw onion and kidney beans, which is interesting. But what makes it so unique and different from other types of chilies is the warm spices that are used: cinnamon, allspice, cumin, cloves. But there is a huge conspiracy around copycat recipes. Most copycat recipes use chocolate in the chili, which isn't actually very uncommon. A lot of chili recipes have a little bit of chocolate or cocoa in them. But the restaurant claims that this is a misconception and that their chili does not use chocolate. This dish is so unique and delicious that it has made the 20 most iconic foods in America list. So if you can't make it to Skyline Chili in Cincinnati, you can make our copycat version at home. Please don't be scared of the very lengthy ingredient list. I get it. Half of that is just stuff from your spice drawer. Really, it is. Okay. So let's talk about how we make Skyline chili. You want to get a really large skillet. I'm talking the biggest bad boy you have. Cast iron, of course, is great. You know, I love my cast iron. Add your ground beef. It's about 2 pounds of ground beef. I use an 80-20 mix. I do like a little bit more fat on this one, more flavor. As you know, when we're browning, we want that heat pretty gosh darn high. We want to get a nice brown sear, a crust on the beef so that it keeps its beefy flavor and stays juicy instead of getting gray and chewy. So keep it there in a whole lump until it starts to get that crunch on the outside, and then flip it, start breaking it apart, and brown well for about 4 to 5 minutes. After that, go ahead and add your onion and garlic. I use an entire yellow onion and 4 cloves of very large garlic, but you know garlic. Measure that with your heart. Okay, so saute that for about 2 or 3 minutes until it starts to soften. Drain away any fat after that and transfer this mixture over to a large pot or Dutch oven. Typically, what I do is I use a slotted spoon and I just take it from one to the other so that I don't have to muddy up a colander or anything else along the way. Okay, in that Dutch oven or very large pot, add 4 cups of low sodium beef broth. Low sodium because you want to be able to control the salt in this. Okay, so full sodium, full beef broth, you don't know what you're getting at. You'll have to do a lot more taste testing, which isn't a bad thing. It just, you can have more control if you don't. Okay, the canned tomatoes, these are plain crushed tomatoes, canned, and as you know, crushed tomatoes aren't the tomato pieces, that are like a thick puree. Chili powder, which is a blend of several different types of chilies. Apple cider vinegar gives it some zing. Sugar helps balance out all these acidic flavors. Worcestershire sauce. Guys, you know I love Worcestershire sauce. I use my homemade version. You can always get that recipe on savoryexperiments.com. This really adds a robust, heady flavor to the mix. Cayenne, cinnamon, cumin, salt, pepper, allspice, cloves, and a bay leaf. Okay. So heat this over low heat, uncovered, barely a simmer for 1 hour. We're really just letting it reduce and let all of these really hefty spices marry with each other so that you can't even pick them apart. You can't even pick them out. When you're ready to serve, take out the bay leaf. Obviously, I think we all know if you leave the bay leaf in and somebody accidentally eats it, they're going to have some major tummy problems, and we don't want that. Okay, so traditionally this is served over cooked spaghetti, but of course you can choose any kind of pasta you want. My husband prefers either actual elbows or rigatonis. And then I want you to take more than you think is reasonable amount of shredded cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar cheese, and freshly shredded, and mound it on top of your plate of chili and pasta. And then if you want, and I know people have strong feelings about beans, but some kidney beans and some chopped raw white onion. So enjoy this dish of pure comfort. Make sure that you have some gum for afterwards because you're going to need it. Otherwise, you'll be peeling the paint, and possibly some Pepto-Bismol. But I will tell you from personal experience that it is well worth the gum, the Pepto, and maybe some Advil. It is a delicious dish and shouldn't be missed. You really should experience it at some point in your life. Okay. As always, we hope to give you some culinary inspiration. We love to hear your thoughts, comments, experiences, tips, and tricks. If you've tried it, if you've been to Skyline Chili, we want to hear about it. Leave it in the comments and make sure you subscribe to our podcast, Chef's Recipe Spotlight, anywhere you listen to podcasts, or to our email list, and you get all of our YouTube videos as well as new recipes every day. Have a fabulous day from my kitchen to yours.